wanted to look at this Harry Sisson stuff. You know who Harry Sisson is? I think he's basically a damn shill debate bro. So there's been some rumblings on the internet about this Harry Sisson person. We'll have a look just quickly at a news article. It seems to be all like Indian and like South Asian sources talking about this at the moment. Not sure why that is. It's a very new thing, I guess, though. And we're going to go on Twitter where the bulk of the info is going to be. Let's just have a quick look here. So what did Harry Sisson do? All about the influencer Snapchat scandal. And I don't know how reputable this source is. I don't know how accurate any of this is going to be, but we're going to be looking at the stuff that's going on anyway. Harry Sisson, a top Democratic influencer, allegedly lured several women on Snapchat to share explicit photos of themselves with him. I don't know how old he is. The stereotype of Snapchat in my country certainly is that it's for children. I think he's in his like early 20s. Democratic content creator, TikTok influencer Harry Sisson was reportedly embroiled in a shocking Snapchat scandal. According to conversation threads going viral on X, the Gen Z political commentator allegedly convinced nearly a dozen women to share explicit photos of themselves via Snapchat. One of the purported victims is believed to have been a domestic abuse survivor. Sarah Fields, we're going to look at this Sarah Fields Twitter, because this is kind of the epicenter of what's going on. It goes by Sarah is Censored and is a Republican state delegate according to her ex-bio. Also appears to have exposed Sisson on the Elon Musk-led microblogging platform. Further claimed, when the women discovered each other one by one, he called them all insane in an attempt to coerce one of them into telling the public that the photos were fake. Plugged several receipts, including TikTok videos of women claiming to be victims of Harry Sisson's alleged inappropriate Snapchat streak. Field slammed the liberal influencer, pointing out that videos of women speaking out about the situation were not gaining much traction on social media, while Sisson continued to collect millions of views for his videos, claiming he's a supporter of women and champion for women's rights. I mean, this seems like a fairly standard thing for male feminist types. They're not always the kindest towards women behind closed doors, and some of them are actually quite openly misogynist, depending on who we're talking about. As per Carly on TikTok, one of Harry's alleged victims, top Democrat influencer, wooed her from the beginning, reportedly had her convinced that he respected her and had no plans of objectifying her. Well, I mean, if he says it to you, it must be true, sure. Sarah Fields explained that even though Carly is admittedly embarrassed, she created a private chat to chat with Harry that was made for his eyes only. So I don't know if this has been leaked. Again, this is stuff we'll find out. Then believed to have shared explicit photos of herself with him via this channel. He loved it. He loved that I was not entertaining anyone else the way I was entertaining him. Harry, on the other hand, reportedly declared her wifey material, and that it was sold on her wife applications. Yikes. I knew that kid was a predator. I mean, I don't know if he's a predator, to be clear. We're looking at something. I might not even think he's a predator. This might just be fuckboy behavior. Who knows? But you know, I barely started looking. Carly accused Harry of posting a thirst trap of himself and his new girlfriend on TikTok shortly after that argument. His new girlfriend blamed Sisson for taking advantage of her vulnerability. He had been battling depression at the time. I mean, he got a new girlfriend. Is this person spurned? You have to think about that kind of thing, ultimately. I don't like Harry Sisson at all, but, you know. So-called male feminists are sus AF. Yeah, they sure can be. Hi, Ashley Proctor. Hope you're good. When she went live, she found out that during the 9 months of interaction with Sisson, influencer was similarly leading on other women simultaneously, believed to have manipulated all alleged victims in the same way. Fields supported her expose of Sisson with screenshots of snaps and text chains exchanged between him and Carly. One of those messages from Harry to her reads, "I never lied to you, we were not exclusive, I made it abundantly clear, I didn't want that, and you said that was fine." I guess we'll see. The receipts in question also shed light on Harry telling Carly, "I'd F you raw after the wine tasting." Jesus Christ. So that's this Carly person. We'll see more of this anyway. I'm going to have a look at Sarah's ex. Second victim, named Sarah, not to be confused with this Sarah Fields person, posted a detailed video of her experience as well, claiming to be a domestic violence survivor. I mean, did he know any of this? He revealed messages from Harry showing how he allegedly toyed with her emotions, making her believe that he was in her corner. Sisson supposedly told her she was the only one for him, ultimately cajoled her into sending private pictures of herself. Two other victims, Diana Hannah, latter said she had known Harry since they were teens, describing him as manipulative and predatory. She added that he had been acting on the same pattern of his alleged toxicity for a long time. When she first spoke up about her truth, no one believed her. Screenshots floating online drove attention to a few other messages sent to one of the alleged victims. In one of these, Harry Sisson wrote, "You definitely have a lot to offer, no doubt, I think, right now. I can't do exclusivity." Well, I mean, if he's being open about it, that kind of changes it. I'm looking pale. I probably am. I don't know. I'm always looking pale, I thought. Anyway, I hope you're good. Not because I'm getting nudes from a bunch of girls or fucking girls and stuff, but because I just don't think I'd be able to commit to something 100%. Also, since we live in different states, exclusivity would be hard. I'm not bouncing a bunch of girls at once. Okay, and that's about it for this. Let's have a look at this Twitter feed, because this is where most of this has been going down. This Sarah Fields person right here. Sarah is censored. Harry Sisson convinced 11 different women that he had no roster and respected them for more than their bodies, while persuading them to send explicit photos of themselves through Snapchat, including one from a domestic abuse survivor. When the women discovered each other one by one, he called them all insane and attempted to coerce them into telling the public the photos were fake. A request to the reader set political differences to the side. I mean, listen, this person's a Republican. I probably have a lot of disagreements with them. I have a lot of disagreements against Harry Sisson as well, so I'm very much neutral in that sense. Thread here. Let's just see what these are first. So this is that Carly person. You can see that here.
Live, don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Like, actually lunatics. Like, genuinely, they are. This individual in question is insane.
Wait, who is that?
And so, I'll say, yeah, I can share with Chris. I'll send.
This individual is insane. So that's what one of these quotes was regarding.
Wait, who is that?
And so, I'll say, yeah, I can share with Chris. I'll send a screenshot. Yeah, no, like legitimately, Chris and I have been talking about this for days.
Uh-oh.
This individual is fucking crazy.
Wait,
bro.
what?
If you want to support the live,
bro, that bro.
I'm saying, dude. I am saying.
No, you be good out there, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
You be safe.
That's also.
He said that's what he said. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Live, don't read on live. Yeah, I saw about this. Like, actually lunatics. Like, genuine.
Okay, it's looping. I've read the women. I really hate how it autoplays. It's so unhelpful. Jesus Christ. Elon, sort your shitty platform out, I beg you. Several of the women involved have made the stances public, but the videos are not receiving much traction, while Harry Sisson continues to collect millions of views for his videos claiming he's a supporter of women and champions for women's rights. So I guess are we calling him like a predator here, or are we more suggesting that he's a bit of a hypocrite? You know what I mean? Let's just see what this person's saying. So this is one of the other people that was mentioned in that article.
I've been trying to figure out how I want to word a video regarding this, but I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been one of these people, and if you have been, fucking props to you, because I don't think anybody could comprehend how genuinely terrifying it is to do something like this. Yeah.
So am I being stupid or is she being extremely vague here? Let me just watch this one more time. Sorry about this. Can I speed it up? We're talking too slowly. Let's speed this up slightly. Like, we haven't said much of substance.
I've been trying to figure out how I want to word a video regarding this. But I think what I'm going to just say is I've never been the woman that has called out behavior like this. I've never been one of these people. And if you have been, fucking props to you. Because I don't think anybody could comprehend how genuinely terrifying it is to do something like this.
I think I understand what she's saying with something like terrifying, like coming out against someone in abstract. Yeah, it's kind of scary. But like, what are we actually saying here? It really depends what we're talking about. I mean, it's going to be terrifying either way, but it kind of offsets that if what you're talking about is really not much of anything and you're kind of exaggerating something potentially.
Yeah. I really, send me how you stop having fucking heart palpitations.
Okay, so she said literally nothing. Okay. Great. Well, listen, there's still more to look at. Carly, one of Harry's victims, has described the situation in the most detail. Summary of her videos: Harry wooed her from the very beginning, convinced her he respected her for more than a physical appearance. Even though she's embarrassed to admit it, she created a private chat to chat with Harry that was made for his eyes only, shared explicit photos of herself with him. He loved it. I was not entertaining anyone else the way I was entertaining him. Said that she was wifey material, was sold on her wife applications. After 6 months, he told her he didn't want a commitment. Accused him of leading her on, to which he admitted of doing. Listen, leading someone on is not cool. Is it the kind of thing that we should then blast someone like this over the internet for? You gotta think about that. As much as I don't like someone like Harry Sisson, you still gotta think about that either way. Also said he should have made his intentions clear. Like, maybe he's kind of saying that he didn't handle it correctly himself, you know? Directly after this, Harry posted a photo of a thirst trap, him and his new girlfriend on TikTok, lying in bed with a girl while he provocatively swipes her hand across his face. Prior to the thirst trap, she watched Harry go live and observed hickeys on his neck from a different girl. She confronted Harry. He told her she was overreacting. Again, I worry how this is this someone who's a bit spurned? You liked someone, they end up getting with other people after telling you that they're not interested. This is standard shitty behavior. Yeah, I'm kind of feeling that. Like, at the moment, it seems like Harry's being a bit of a dick and is not being very kind to these women necessarily. And it does call into question, you know, if he's someone that's going around saying how much he respects women and like calling himself a male feminist, if he does that, I'm not sure, then this doesn't line up with that. But again, is this like internet expose material? You know what I mean? Recently been through a traumatic car accident. Did he know any of this? Carly stated that Harry pounced and took advantage of her sadness. We'd have to show that, I guess. There is a video here we're going to watch that is already playing because Twitter is the worst. Carly decided to go live on TikTok to share a story. That's when she discovered during the 9 months she was talking to Harry, Harry was leading on multiple other women at the exact same time. Told them the exact same things, convinced her to send them explicit messages through Snapchat platform. Let's see what the video says.
I got played by a TikTok influencer for 9 months, and I think it's time that I expose his trashy ass behavior.
Right off the bat, I mean, listen, I don't want to read too much into it, but this person is smiling. This isn't going to help your case a huge amount. But let's see. Let's be open-minded. It just isn't looking amazing, you know? So far, I feel like this person has kind of been... She's been led on, yeah, that's a shitty thing to do. Is it internet expose material? This guy's more of a dick than you were led to believe, is all I'm getting so far.
Started talking in May of last year, right before my birthday, and he, like, wooed me. He was very kind. felt really excited and thankful that I found somebody who, at the time, I thought respected me for more than my physical appearance. And yeah, I literally could have never imagined or even like fathomed what was gonna end up happening after talking for 9 months. I'm really embarrassed to admit this, but I created a private story on Snapchat for just him and named it For Your Eyes Only, and he loved it. He loved the attention that I was giving him and the fact that he knew that I wasn't entertaining anybody else the way I was entertaining him. Within the first 2 to 3 months, he had told me on 2 separate occasions that I was wife material and that he was, quote unquote, sold on my wifey application. He was frequently saving my snaps and just like making me feel good about myself, call me beautiful and gorgeous, so it's like, how could I not read into that? 6 months into talking, he suddenly is like, I'm not looking for any commitment and I'm not in a place to find anything long-term right now. I'm just really busy, blah, blah, blah. And like, I was understanding. I was fine keeping things casual. However, I couldn't help but feel that he led me on. And he even admitted to that. He's like, yeah, that's on me for like not making my intentions clear. Okay. He tells me a couple more times after that he doesn't want commitment. And then next thing
Yeah, I'll be honest, like, if I got led on, like, I don't know, man. I've been led on before. It's not nice. It hurts a lot, but I don't know. What are we trying to say here? Like, that this guy's a bit of a hypocrite. He's a bit of a dick. I mean, yeah, I could buy that. I don't know. There must be more to this. And if there isn't, then I guess this is a load of nothing. But hey, whatever happens, you know, doesn't really matter to me.
I know, he's posting a soft launch thirst trap of him and his new girlfriend 2 weeks ago. Actually, prior to this, I had found out that he fucked around with somebody else by him going live on TikTok and showing hickeys on his neck. That's how I literally found out that he was fucking around.
By the way, hickeys are disgusting. I'm sorry. If I like someone and I see them with like hickeys all over, like, nah, maybe you're not the one for me. I don't know. Ugh.
And so I confronted him about it, right? Like any normal person would do. And he got all defensive and started like gaslighting me. Basically saying that I was like overreacting and all this stuff. And I was like, you're kidding me, right? Keep in mind, he was well aware of the fact that I was very depressed following a very traumatic car accident that I had been in. And
yeah, was he aware of this? Was this a factor in anything, or was it just something that was compounding in your life at the time?
Still took advantage of my sadness. Anywho.
I mean, if any time anyone is mean to me, should I go around saying, well, in previous times in my life, I was a victim of domestic abuse? Like, you've just been mean to a domestic abuser. Like, should I do that? Has it got anything to do with the other person? Don't know about that.
Who I forgot to mention, but we were mutuals on TikTok, mutuals on Instagram. I was his only friend on Facebook, and I have receipts of this, of course.
It's like they're 12. Yes, very much. Jesus Christ.
But he's trying to remove me from everything. He demanded that I unsave everything on Snapchat because he had a new girlfriend, and it was like out of respect for her. Bro, you don't know the first thing about respecting women. Jump to last night, I find out that he was leading somebody else on at the same time he was leading me on. And my world was shook.
Should she have kept this to herself? I mean, there might be a point in there about that this guy's actually kind of a dick and that women might want to be careful about engaging with him in this way. I think currently we're treating it as if it's like a victim thing. Like, we're saying he's like predatory. I think that's going way too far. I don't necessarily see a problem with talking about it, but I don't know. We'll keep watching. We'll keep looking.
I DM'd her because I saw a comment she left on his backup account, I guess is what you could call it. And she was like, oh my God, I think we went through the same thing. And I was like, no freaking way, girl, still. And so, long story short, we talked literally probably 6-7 hours last night, exposing everything. Early on in the conversation, she tells me that he had told her in December that he had no roster. What the fuck do you call me? You're talking to me for 7 months at that point.
I'm not down with the kids. I don't know if that means like a roster. I've got a bunch of girls that I'm chatting with and like leading on or something. I'm going to assume that's what that means. I'm not down with this shit. I haven't had to date for a long time, so I don't know.
And you're going to say that you've no roster. I see. She shared screenshots of their conversations. I shared screenshots of ours, and
so far, I'm inclined to agree, Purple Nightshade.
we basically came to the conclusion that he is a despicable, disgusting fuckboy. He sits here on his platform of almost 2 million followers and preaches respect for women and believing women, blah, 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 blah. And then he disrespected us so grossly, asked for extremely intimate images, made us both think that we were the only one he was talking to. And then he started dating somebody else. So we have no idea how long she was in the picture. This is just a very broad outline of the story, and I'm more than happy to do a follow-up with receipts and more details, but
yeah, I think receipts and details would be very good at this stage. Like, was he pressuring people into sending nudes? I don't know. Like, we'd have to see. That's one of the only things that I think might sound kind of egregious. Beyond that, it seems like, I don't know, man. This is like fuckboy behavior. It's not good, but like, I don't know. It doesn't seem proportional so far, I'll say.
I literally could not sit on this information for any longer, and I had to just get it out there because I quite literally could have burst into flames at this point because I'm so angry. But yeah, he's wishing everyone a happy International Women's Day after telling people on live earlier that I'm insane. So, yeah, you're clocked, buddy.
So that was that Carly person. What is this?
Your wish is my command. I had been following this political influencer for a couple months. Your wish is my command. I had been following this political...
This is the same person, in case you're face blind like I am. It took me a moment. Let me just... 576p? Auto 576p. Weird. Anyway, sorry, I'll just speed this up a bit. It's like 8 minutes. So far, he's a bit of a hypocrite. He's a bit of a fuckboy. Let's see what this video is, though.
Influencer for a couple months prior to me DMing him, basically just offering my support and telling him that I was proud of what he was doing and that I was learning a lot from him.
The fan in the beginning, a fan of his reached out to him.
A little bit after that, I shared with him that I was a survivor of SA, and if he ever needed a victim's perspective during one of his TikTok live debates, I would be willing to share.
So we're a victim of SA. I mean, what did they mention before? They mentioned a car accident. They didn't mention this before.
My story. He was really nice about it, was supportive, thanked me for...
Harry pretends he's a morality police, or if this is fair to blast online. Maybe, like, sort of like exposing him or like making a point that he's a hypocrite, I guess. But like, I feel like this is going a bit beyond that. But I mean, I don't know. We're still looking. Like, maybe there's more info than what I've seen so far. Because at the moment, it's very... unsubstantiated. For sharing with him, and also for my willingness to speak on it if he ever needed somebody to. After talking just like a couple more times in Instagram DMs, I was like, hey, like you should add me on Snapchat if you want to, and he did. So that was in May, like right before my birthday. Pretty quickly into us Snapchatting, he started saving snaps where I just like looked pretty, I guess, and if you know, you know, like that's a compliment. It wasn't anything inappropriate. It was just very flattering because I looked good, and he was trying to tell me that by wanting to keep those pictures of me in our chat. Shortly then after that, it became more of like an inappropriate infatuation with me. And he kind of hinted at that by saying something along the lines of, I had some like interesting or sexy pictures of me on my Instagram. And I was like, oh, okay. Granted, this was highly unexpected because I was like, you don't act this way at all on TikTok. Honestly, I didn't expect to like start talking because of my original DM, but obviously I was excited too because I had a lot of respect for him. I thought he was like this champion for women, supported our rights, berated people who disrespected women and just all that stuff that, you know, makes a woman feel safe, right?
Not long after we started snapping, I made some joke about probably having a bunch of competition, and he then told me that I had no competition and said that he was content, implying that he was content with just me. At another point, he told me that my opinion was the only one that mattered. So of course I ate that stuff right up. I was so excited and just completely shocked, and obviously way too trusting. So time's passing, he's still saving a bunch of my snaps. I start saving snaps that he's sending as replies because 1, they made me feel good, and 2, now I'm glad I have them as receipts because he's calling me insane online. When September came around, I told him that the anniversary of my essay was coming up, and so he was well aware of this. And then on the night of September 15th, before he went live to debate on TikTok, he messaged me just wanting to check in, seeing how I was doing. And
he's a Democrat influencer. I assume he supports men in women's spaces and sports. I don't know if you can assume that. I think there's probably a lot of Democrat people or Democrat voters or supporters or whatever that don't actually sign off on stuff like that. And it's not actually usually that big of a feature in how people vote. It's trans issues, to be clear. Even with all the Camille letters for they, them kind of stuff, it was a big advert, but people aren't usually, the trans shit isn't always at the forefront, I guess. So I don't know about that.
To me, that spoke volumes. I was like, that's really sweet of you. Thank you for checking in. And then after he was done debating, he tried to FaceTime me, but unfortunately I had already fallen asleep. Anyway, he attempted to call me. I didn't answer. He messaged me and told me to answer. And since I was sleeping, I didn't see it till the next morning. But when I saw that I had a missed call, again, I was like, how sweet is this that he really took the time out to want to check in with me on the night he knew was going to be very difficult for me to sleep. I think that kind of says a lot about how he felt about me. I don't know. Of course, I was holding on to this for a while because I really just thought he went above and beyond. And I really just thought he was this amazing person who saw me as more than my body. But not too long after that, it all became even more intensely inappropriate, and just the things that he was requesting from me, that kind of took me by surprise. But yeah, I kind of just put up with it because I was like, well, he respects me, right? He respects me for more than the physical attraction.
To be fair, was it Dems losing their mind about what Gavin Newsom was saying? Or was it far leftists and trans activist types?
From late October onward, he started to pull back just a little bit, and I let it go for a while without saying anything. But then late November, I was like, look, you rarely snap me anymore. If you don't want to talk, just communicate that with me. And he said that wasn't the case. And then I had told him that if he was talking to any other women the way he was talking to me, then he needed to unsave my snaps because I'm not that bitch. I let it go for a while without saying anything. But then late November, I was like,
oh, so he backs off after a while. Okay, I don't know if I'm being clear. Those kind of people are probably going to vote Dem and be Dem supporters. But is it not more a specific group within the Dems that are more pushing that stuff? That's what I mean. They're not going to be Republicans, obviously. The far left has become the norm for Dems. I disagree. Most people don't want far left shit. Most Democrat supporters are liberals. More that he was speaking to Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I would have thought so. Anyway, this is off topic. I'm not interested in this.
Look, you rarely snap me anymore. If you don't want to talk,
yeah, so it was going good for a while. It drifts off. It just feels very spurned. We need more receipts. We need some actual egregious shit to be shown. And if this is your best foot forward, it's a bit shaky right now.
Just communicate that with me. And he said that wasn't the case. And then I had told him that if he was talking to any other women the way he was talking to me, then he needed to unsave my snaps because I'm not that bitch. And he said that he wasn't talking to other women like that. He wasn't hooking up with anybody because he quote unquote never does that. And I believed him. I literally believed everything he said all the time. And that was very naive of me, I admit. From that conversation.
The other thing is this not something that women go through with guys fairly regularly? Should we expose every single guy that leads on and lies to people? It's not cool, and it definitely suggests that he's a hypocrite for sure. If you treat women a certain way and then go around saying that you're this champion of women's rights, then yeah, I agree. But and
I thought there was this understanding that if he was going to be fucking around or flirting with anybody else, asking for pics from them, he needed to delete mine. Unfortunately, it took me a couple more months to figure out that he wasn't respecting that request whatsoever. Then February comes around and he shows up on TikTok live with hickeys on his neck. So I was like, obviously there's someone else and you're being dishonest with me. Of course I had to address this because I was hurt and I had every right to be. Not long after that, he discloses that he's seeing her. And I was like, oh, see, I thought you didn't want commitment, but that's my dad.
The next weekend, he posts a thirst trap.
He got played. I'm sorry. Listen. It's not nice to do to someone, but he got played. How often does this happen? The women need to start exposing every single man that plays them. Like, yeah, like call him a hypocrite on the internet for sure. Point out how this kind of shit is not cool and that it kind of doesn't line up with the stuff that he says publicly. But this is very overwrought. And by the way, it's practically the same video as the last one, is it not?
On TikTok with her, and I was like, all right, got it. In that comment section, I saw another woman say something regarding the fact that they had been talking a month prior, and I was like, wait a second, I need to know if this is legit. So I DM'd her. It took all of like 1 minute for her to realize that we literally got played by the same guy. And I can't even tell you the
I mean, yeah, if he's playing you, he's probably playing other women, like, So they were never exclusive. She said that she doesn't want him to like deal with her if he's having similar interactions with other women, and it doesn't sound like he said yes or no about any of that. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Emotions that went through my body that entire night. A couple days later, boom, I get a DM from another woman saying that she and her friend went through something very similar as well. And I was like, holy shit, I'm learning so much. Fast forward 1 more week, and here I am sitting here with knowledge of at least 6 other women who were played by the same guy in the same time period. I'm just disgusted, bro. I have genuinely never been more wrong about somebody in my entire life. For 9 months, I thought that he was this amazing person. I respected him. I thought he respected me.
Thought it was an amazing based on what? You never met, like, I don't know. There's something in here. That's the thing. I get why you'd want to kind of warn women about someone who might not be who they're presenting themselves as. These people don't know each other IRL. No, it doesn't seem so, no. Also, hi, Madison Dotson. I hope you're good. So they never met. Like, we've got all this stuff going on. I'm in two minds. Because, yeah, it kind of makes him seem like a bit of a hypocrite. And it kind of makes him sound like a dick. And it kind of makes him sound like a player when he's trying to pretend that he's not the case. Is this the kind of thing... Is this the kind of thing we need to, like, expose every single tiny thing about this whole thing? Or just, this guy's a player and he pretends not to be. You might want to be careful about interacting with this person, because it might not be what you think it is, you know? At the moment, this seems very, very overwrought. That's how I feel. And this is the same video as the last one. We're talking about receipts in the other one. We're going to need some receipts, and we're going to need them to say something kind of crazy. I don't know, man. I don't know.
I thought that the person he showed online was the person he truly was, and I was proven so horribly wrong. So when I started speaking about this publicly, his only response has been...
It's like, shouldn't you be kind of prepared for the worst? Especially when just dealing with someone on the internet who... What they're doing in their real life could be literally anything. If he doesn't want to meet in a few months, you're nothing more than a dalliance. Yeah, I mean... It's a long time. It's a long time to not meet for. Having said that, it took me and Charlie a couple of months, I think, to meet up. But then we're both exceptionally anxious and crap at dealing with other people. So, I don't know, man. Never met your heroes. Glad I never met Jimmy Savile. He did a lot for kids. Yeah, he sure did. Jesus Christ. Oh man, that's dark.
Been to say that I'm insane, because he wants to take away my credibility before more people find out about this. All I have to say to that is there are some very strong women that I am aligned with and share experiences with, and we're not going to stand for some dude getting away with icky behavior. You can't sit there and pretend...
Like, get away with icky behavior. What do you expect to be able to do? A guy's career is not going to be affected by something like this. Vorsh was caught over a year ago looking at lolly porn with it saved on his computer. He's still around. Xander Howell was going around threatening to kill people, going ballistic at his editor over God knows what. He's still got like 6-figure subscribers, still going. Destiny has been filming people potentially without their consent, sending these videos of these people fucking him, definitely without their consent. He's going to carry on. I don't know.
That you care about women and respecting them, and then you berate people for disrespecting women, and then you're doing the same thing behind the scenes. The fact that you think that you don't have to be held...
I could see her putting this out there without names, a cautionary tale, not a personal attack. Yeah, maybe. And I can see someone like warning other women that if they're going to start dealing with this Harry Sisson guy in a certain way online, it might not be what they think it is. But at the same time, it doesn't sound like it was ever that serious, you know? Like, were they, you know, you want exclusivity when you're clearly not in a relationship. There's something a bit strange about that.
Held accountable is actually really sickening, and it's disheartening, to be honest. I'm so glad that I found this out before I ever met up with him, because that would have just made everything a million times worse. But
Like, would you ever have even met him?
that's the story. Sorry.
Okay, there we go. This is very thin so far, I gotta say. All right, so we got receipts. Jesus Christ. Ugh. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just where I'm not attracted to men, and I'm definitely not attracted to men that look like 13-year-old boys. But I'm just, I don't know. God damn it. Well, I can't even read that. And I certainly something deserve you. I don't know what that says. I never lied to you. Sorry, this is not going to be very visible because it's massive for some reason. I never lied to you. We were not exclusive, and I made it abundantly clear I didn't want that, and you said that was fine. I haven't done anything that wasn't allowed within the parameters we set. What and why are you screenshotting? More receipts. Harry, damn, you're sexy. Please stop. Push stop. Don't. I'd fuck you raw after wine tasting, but that's just me. Classy. Oh, hi, Meat Vessel. We're talking about Harry Sisson. I mean, stuff got steamy. It seems like it's a very mutual thing. And you're kind of fine with that, but... No, he's not a child. He just looks like a child. You're hot. You look great. The verdict is you look sexy as fuck. Courtesaned. Like, I don't know, we're internet flirting, like, sure. I didn't need receipts to prove that there was some internet flirting going on. Here are other receipts provided, of Snapchat provided by other accounts. It's unclear who these Snapchats were sent to. Your opinion is the only one that mattered. God, that ass is fat. Looks amazing. Couldn't agree more, beautiful. Wow. Quote from Carly, I'm fighting for accountability not only for myself, but on behalf of everything. I mean, you want accountability for a guy that's been like... that's been being like a bit of a sax past, not even a sax past. That's been flirting with people on the internet mutually. I don't know, man. I'm fighting accountability, not only for myself, but on behalf of everyone who believed this guy was something he's not. To this day, he's yet to acknowledge he did anything wrong. That's really sad. However, I have to say I'm beyond blessed, frankly shocked to have connected with so many amazing people over this horrible experiences. Thank you for confirming that my feelings throughout these 9 months were valid. It sounds like this person wanted more than what this guy did. Here is this guy, Harry Sisson. He's a TikToker who debate bros people about politics on the internet. I watched him argue with someone called Hayden Rodier, and I basically disagreed with all of them. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty. What's your credit score? Fair enough. Determined that 11 women were played by Harry. Yeah, it's like player shit. I'll say that it seems like player shit, and it's not cool, but let's see what this video is, though.
Have a roster, and that he was not talking. If he had flat told us, hey,
Oh my god, George, there was I think it was Blair White. Posted something about how Harry Sisson has been outed as being straight. I found that quite hilarious. Anyway.
I'm talking to other people. When we asked, when all, like, a fucking dozen of us asked, hey, are you talking to anybody? Instead, he lied and said he did not have a roster and that he was not talking to anybody.
Yeah, I mean, it's not nice to do, but like, we're calling these people victims. Victims of what? You got led on? I've been led on before. Am I a victim? Should I out that person on the internet? that led me on when I was like 17. I don't know about that. Yeah, I just want to... Sorry, Blair White posted something about this. This is quite funny. Okay. This is the first person, is it showing? Yeah. This is the first person I've ever seen exposed as straight. I found that funny. Anyway. So the next thing is, another victim of Harry, Sarah, provided a long detailed video of her experience. I clipped it for the sake of time, but you can find a full video on the TikTok platform. Sarah is a DV survivor, posted about a DV experience in October of 2024 for DV Awareness Month. Receipts are of her and her ex. So you led someone on who's a DV survivor. Does that matter? Really? I don't know. Someone's been through something horrible. Maybe you should think twice before like fuckboying them or like leading them on the internet, but I don't know. We're throwing everything at the wall to make something stick. DV is domestic violence. Also, I hope you're good, Blackie Cat. So yeah, this person has been like physically hurt by someone close to them before, which is horrible, obviously. I've experienced it myself, like by several different people. But like, because that's true, does that mean no one can ever do anything wrong? Or I should expose them on the internet for all to see? All we've kind of got is that this guy's a player, like many other guys. And that perhaps he's not as principled as we think he is. And I think if we just kind of... If that was all we were talking about, I'd probably get this, I guess. But we're calling these people, like, victims. Receipts of her and her ex. So, like... So most of these are nothing to do... Like, we've got, like, bruises. Like, all of this is horrific, of course. Like, you know... What am I gonna think of, like, someone assaulting someone else? Fuck that shit. And maybe it's not very kind. And this is not about Harry. This is about someone else. So she's been through this person. You're not taking account of political activism and rhetoric. You don't subscribe to it, but you got to see it from their perspective and views. How do you mean, sorry? Like, I'm happy with the idea that people are saying this guy's a hypocrite because of the shit he says online. But we're calling them victims and stuff like that. We're bringing in a situation that really has nothing to do with Harry. And is it kind to like lead someone on who's had these experiences before? Of course not. But, I don't know. There's no societal repercussions of being a player. I don't entirely agree. Like, if you warn a group of women that someone is not who they think they are, then those women are going to think twice before engaging with you. It might have some repercussions, but for the most part, like nothing's going to come of this anyway. People do far worse. Someone like Destiny, for example, he's not going to lose his career over the shit that he did. Lost a bunch of subscribers. Like, people have got more reasons to dislike him, but these people are always fine. If you get a big enough, like cult-like enough audience, then you're going to survive anything, pretty much. So this is that Sarah person. This is only 21 seconds long. So this is the bit that presumably is actually relevant to Harry Sisson.
He did inform me that there was no roster, essentially implying I was the only person he was...
If I was a political lefty lunatic, how would I respond to this? Jeez, it's hard to say. I mean, you're going to get people that because they're on the same side as him, they're just going to brush anything under the carpet. And maybe those people are like having multiple partners and frowned upon. I guess. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what you're getting at, 420. I think a lot of people, because they're on the same side as him, are going to disregard all of this out of hand. Like me, there's definitely some dodgy stuff. Like, he's definitely not being very kind to people. He's definitely, like, it does seem like he's, like, leading people on a little bit, but I don't know, man. I need to expect that anyone this famous as well, especially, like, someone like Harry Sisson probably does have a large female following. I need to expect that he's probably talking to a lot of women.
Talking to the only person he was receiving. He did inform me that there was no roster, essentially implying I was the only person he was talking to, the only person he was receiving
So there's an implication. So he's kind of lied a little bit.
photos from. And I was, again, fine with that. But of course, if you're going to tell me that there's no roster and I'm the only person you're talking to, he
Have you liked the stream, by the way? 39 people watching. Should there be 39 likes? Let's see. Maybe there should be. Make sure you check the links in my description. You can super chat. You can donate via Streamlabs. You can join my Discord. You can buy some music or listen to some music that I've made. Anyway. Oh, and you can also subscribe on Twitch if you use Twitch. So yeah, he led on more than one person. Like, yeah, that's not nice to do. Is this person a victim? More of Harry's lies. You definitely have a lot to offer, no doubt. I think right now I can't do exclusivity. Well, that's definitely not a lie. Not because I'm getting nudes from a bunch of girls or fucking girls and stuff. I don't hook up with anyone ever. That might be a lie. And like, I don't know, if you're a leftist guy, you're probably going to be saying stuff like that. Oh no, I'm very pure. I'm not like those kind of guys. But because I just don't think I'd be able to commit to 100% to some something. Also, since we live in different states, exclusivity would be hard. I mean, you didn't hook up with someone, then how would exclusivity be hard? I don't know. It's strange. He is kind of... I think he probably knows that there's an element of hypocrisy and there's an element of he's kind of leading people on here. And he's kind of... I don't think he's being very honest either, you know what I mean? But this, like I keep saying, this feels very overwrought at the moment. So I'm not bouncing a bunch of girls at once. My energy is in other places right now. I don't have much more to give. I mean, okay. It's not his competitions. I'm not getting nudes from a bunch of girls. One of the women who is terrified of Harry's retaliation has stated that Harry assured her the screenshots were all fake. He says the bouncing girls things twice, so he's lying. Yeah, there's definitely lies here, yeah. And he's definitely a hypocrite, for sure. He stated that Harry assured her the screenshots were all fake, but also told her he doesn't feel bad about lying about personal things. So he kind of knows he's a liar and he's fine with that. So I don't know. I get signal boosting that this guy is gonna lie to you and like lead you on and stuff. But like, is that it? There's a long Twitter thread. This guy's a bit of a liar. I don't know, man. Didn't you kind of expect this? Maybe. Asked her if she wouldn't mind telling people that she had seen screenshots of him, proving they were fake, even though she had not. I've been provided the evidence for this, however, she does not want to have the screenshots provided publicly. The state of this changes, I will provide receipts. He's famous on TikTok. He's dodging poon like Neo dodges bullets. Hey, maybe. Like, he probably does have women throwing themselves at him, to at least a certain extent. I've known a few men like this that wanted me in their orbit. I told them I don't orbit, and then these non-committal men started stalking me. Wow, crazy. Nasty. Harry's video of his thirst trap, like, I don't know. He looks way too young. Like, he looks like a 13-year-old to me. This is weird. It's unclear if his new girlfriend is aware of the other women. Pretty sure she'll be made aware. I mean, I know, man. Are they gonna care? Harry's not apologized for this behavior, called all these women insane as seen as the top of this thread. End thread, as a survivor of DV, parent of a child who survived SA. Both of us were doxxed by Harry. I mean, if that's true, that's also very fucked up. Shouldn't be doxing people. I will not tolerate any degrading comments about these women. They're all young. I believe they've definitely learned a lesson here. At least I hope they did. Well, yeah, hopefully they did. But like, I don't know. What's exposing him on the internet for this going to do ultimately? Harry is a narcissistic abuser. Have we shown this? Have we seen this from everything that's been going on? Harry is a narcissistic abuser? Is he abuser based on this? Showing that you've hooked up as a thirst trap, I don't know. I don't know how people talk these days. I'm more into intellectual thirst traps myself. Yeah, narcissistic abuser. I think this is crazy. Is he an abuser? He's a bit of a dog. He's a bit of a hypocrite and a liar by the sound of it. Is he an abuser? Took advantage of a dozen women at the same time for nearly a year. I don't condone the behavior of these women, but I do know what it feels like to be manipulated by a narcissist when I was younger. Is this what's happening? This is what I mean. This is very overwrought from what I can see. Nasty comments such as, they deserved it, or calling them derogatory names or result in a block. Listen, this is not what I'm trying to do here. I think we're cheapening the word abuse and abuser by saying this. One of the people here had like literally been physically hurt by like a previous partner. What are we trying to do? Put those two things on the same level? I think that's a bit much. All right, next we got Diana, another woman tells a story. So let's see what this is. Hang on, sorry, I barely know what I'm doing on Twitter. Other thing that makes me cringe is when people say my abuser, like they're getting off on it. Maybe. It depends on context, I guess, stuff like that.
I've slept all of 1 hour over the last 2 days because of this shit, so you're getting a speed run of my side, and then I'm never fucking talking about this again, because this was insanely ridiculous. For me personally, this wasn't that deep in the aspects of relationship issues, because I knew that this guy was a player. We started talking like 2 years ago, stopped talking a few days after New Year's, a few days before the TikTok ban, somewhere in there. And it was on and off for those years, very casual. The part that pissed me off was that this almost cost me a friendship with a really great girl. As you guys know, he was on my live on a panel like right after the election. I let him up on the panel. He was there, whatever. After that, I had said something about wanting more women to get into the debate space, and if you wanted to DM me. And so Reese, my good friend, did. She DM'd me. This was also to find out if him and I were talking, because of the way that he acted towards me in the live and the way that I reciprocated that. She DM'd me and asked me if him and I were talking, and I said no, because I didn't know her and didn't want people in my business, and I had spent 2 years keeping that violently under wraps from you guys. And then I found out that she was talking to him, and so I backed off. I didn't speak to him after that for a good long while, because I'm not going to sit here and compete for a fucking TikToker. And then her and I became...
Best way I can word my point, I think, is Harry's the type of kid to call everyone he disagrees with a Nazi. So when a bunch of women pull the universe or reverse card on him, I have no sympathy. You don't have to have any sympathy for him. And like, I don't know, maybe it's a two wrongs don't make a right situation, I guess. Like, just because he's the kind of person that does that, does that mean that we should over-egg the pudding when he's done something that we can perceive as bad? You know what I mean? I guess that would be my counter to that. And like, I don't know. I'm happy to accept that this guy seemed like a hypocrite and he seems like a bit of a dick and that it's not right to lead people on. It's not right to lie to people. I can accept all that. Like, my point really is that all of this is very overwrought. We're calling people victims. We've called Harry Sisson an abuser. Is he an abuser? I think whether or not he engages in like certain kind of behavior, which, I don't know, I've watched stuff with him before and like called out that very behavior. Because he seems, I don't know, the way he debates, I cannot stand that kind of debating style. It's kind of like what Destiny turned into more recently, where you're just more about like shitting on people. But like, that doesn't mean that we should then start calling people like abusers for very little, you know what I mean? Like, cheapening language on one side doesn't mean, okay, well then we might as well start cheapening language on the other. Hi Cassie, I hope you're good.
Friends. She would come up on my panel. We talked on the phone before and after lives constantly. We got really close. And then one day I get a DM. The DM was from this guy. He said, basically, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what was the favor? He said, I need you to block Reese. And me, I wanted to get both sides of the story. And so, long story short, I communicated with her. I communicated with him. He told me that everything she told me was fake, a lie, and that she was crazy. And because I knew him for 2 years, and because I thought that he was a half decent person, like maybe a player, but a half decent person, I blocked her. And that's something I have to take responsibility for, is that I allowed a guy to use me to aid in ostracizing a girl from the internet completely, because he didn't like that she talked to her friends and a couple of texts got leaked. The rest of me and him talking was still casual, but I had been in a position at that point where I didn't want something casual anymore. I didn't want to mess around like that anymore. I wanted something serious. I told him so. I basically told him, hey, I'm going to be in DC at the time. If you're not there,
I mean, it's kind of hard to feel bad for Harry anyway, because nothing is going to come of this. Like, he's famous beyond his wildest dreams and presumably earns a lot of money. Like, talking on the internet. Like, he's got it made. This is like a drop in the ocean. This is going to do nothing. He's a fuckboy. I mean, think about it this way. When the whole stuff with Chris Brown and Rihanna came out, how many people were out there being like, oh, I'd let Chris Brown do that to me? You know what I'm saying? And that's far more serious than what this is. Like, that's just how it goes. I don't feel sorry for Harry Sisson at all, really. I just think they're raking him over the coals rather than just kind of calling him out for some shitty behavior. And my main complaint really is just this is very overwrought. And we're throwing around words like abuse and victim like they're nothing. It's hard to feel bad for Harry because he's a smug prick. That's true, but I still need to be objective. I'm not going to be like, oh, because it's Harry Sisson, like, go ahead and call him an abuser even though he's not. You know what I mean? Like, two things can be true at the same time. I don't like Harry Sisson at all. I don't like what he's about. I don't like the way he debates people, from what I've seen at least. And he seems like a fuckboy. He seems like a bit of a manipulator. Like, yeah, true.
I'm taking this as a sign not to talk to you anymore. He said he was going to be there, and then a couple days later said he wasn't going to be there. Took it as a sign, stopped talking to him. He ended up being there, and I violently avoided him while I was there. We did not see each
I don't get not talking to someone just because someone you know just said so. Fuck knows. I don't know. People don't seem to like communicating and sorting out their differences sometimes.
other. We did not interact, but we're in town at the same time. I wasn't talking to him when he did this soft launch. He wasn't talking to me. However, yes, it is true. He still has things saved in our chats. As of right now, I'm going to be communicating to get that gone when I get off of here. I don't think the husband would approve of that being there. So yeah, that's my side. If you want to hear the other women's sides who are much more serious than that.
I'm not... What am I supposed to take from this, really? Like... I don't know. I feel bad I never had a fuckboy phase. I don't know. Is it good for the soul? Going around treating women that way? Is it good for the soul? I don't know about that.
I will be tagging them below. You can go ahead and see their stories for yourself. The entire point of this was to hold somebody accountable who has amassed a large, very female, very young...
Accountable for what? The part I understand most is like, yeah, you might want to warn people to be careful dealing with him. And to not get, like, led on. To not be naive about what guys can be like, especially on the internet, especially when they get a taste of, like, fame or success. But I don't know. Has Parker or the other blonde guy... I heard something about Dean Withers, like, disavowing him or something. What the fuck? Dean Withers and Harry Sisson lost us the election. What? I don't know if Dean Withers... Oh, does anyone remember this, by the way? Could Dean Withers be one of the Democrats' TikTok bro whisperers? Holy shit. I don't know. I heard something about Dean Withers, like, kind of disavowing this guy, but I don't know. I'm not seeing a huge amount. I'll see if I can find more. Actually, I mean, well, is he on Twitter? I think he is. Let me just have a look. Sorry, my bookmark is Charlie's old things. That's why that keeps coming up. Modern American Patriot. Again, I'm not a fan of Dean Withers. Oh, he hasn't posted in a while. Like, does he post anywhere else? Stream daily on TikTok and YouTube. He hasn't really said much. I've heard... I saw something that suggested something about him kind of disavowing Harry Sisson for this, but... I don't know.
young following by claiming that they support women, that they respect women, and this...
Yeah, and again, I agree with this. Like, he's a bit of a hypocrite. Blue sky. I mean, he is on Blue Sky. That's certainly true. He last posted 3 months ago. Well, that answers that question, I guess. He has 895 followers. Oh, and it's unofficial. It's not even him. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's not even him. Okay, fair enough. Waste of time. I don't know.
This is evidence otherwise. This isn't for clout. None of us are doing this for clout.
This isn't for clout. Okay, I 100% believe you because you said that.
This is to show you unacceptable behavior by somebody who has portrayed themselves to be someone that they are not. And to warn the young girls on this app to be really careful about who you talk to. Please go follow and watch the lovely women I'm going to tap below and hear their sides.
What's a Dean Withers? Dean Withers is basically the exact same person as Harry Sisson. I don't think there's any difference at all. They came from the same factory. It's just that Dean Withers' hairline protocol is going a bit wrong, apparently. Which is a shame, because he's, like, early 20s. Yeah, I don't know. I understand, like, warning people. But this is, like... It's getting a bit insane. And, like, the stuff about, I blocked someone because he told me to. I mean... I don't know. Immoral, maybe, but not unacceptable. Maybe. And then we've got someone else. We didn't have a name here. Oh, Hannah. Okay, that was she was mentioned in that the article that I have now deleted off of my thing, but never mind. Okay, so we've got someone called Hannah. I think this is the last one right now. Part of me feels like they could just get something out of it. Yeah, maybe. They thought they were the ones that were going to date the famous guy, and then it turned out that he was just playing them, and now they're upset about it, maybe. Hard to say. Some of these people, like, it's clear that they were, like, spurned, and now they're unhappy about it. They make it sound like he deserves jail. Yeah, true. They want him to be cancelled, whatever. That's not going to happen, ultimately.
And also, any person who has...
Oh, it starts with and also.
And also, any person who has been a victim of this certain political TikToker, I am always available.
Victim again? Are you all victims? You got played. Are you a victim anytime a guy plays you?
To talk, if you need support or just somebody to talk to, I'm here. I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. I'm mostly crying because I'm really proud of all of these girls for coming forward, because I know how manipulative and conniving and overall dangerous this political TikToker is.
Dangerous. All right.
And for so long, because I've been talking about him and his disgusting behavior for over a year now. Nobody believed me.
It's not cheating, true. Has anyone technically said that it's cheating? They're more saying they feel led on, which, again, not nice to do. Is this something we need to blast en masse all over the internet?
You know, I had a few people that obviously did. It was just like, it was never taken serious. And like, above all, I'm pissed because he is the same fucking guy that's gonna end up in the fucking political hierarchy that has all of these allegations but has too much power within to ever be actually taken down. That's exactly where he's headed, and he's been heading there for so long. As somebody who's known him...
Again, how many internet content creators that talk about politics have been doing fuckboy stuff, doing other weird stuff? This just seems like something that you should be aware of in general.
Since I was 18, and we were incredibly close. We met in person a few times. I really don't care if he makes an apology. I don't care if he takes accountability. I don't care about all that, because it's going to be fake, and I can promise you that. And it's going to be gaslighting everybody. He's an incredibly sick individual, fairly perverted.
We have not, this has not been shown. Very sick individual, perverted.
And he's been getting away with this for so fucking long. It got to a point where it was just too exhausting to even try to, you know, put stuff out. I am really happy that it's gaining traction now. And I think she worded it perfectly. The woman that I stitched, it's like these champions for women, right? And the idolizing of these men that care about women.
Well, you gotta... People are saying this kind of stuff for a reason. Do you believe every man that says, oh, I care about women so much? Do you believe every single man that ever says that ever? Might they not be saying that for a specific purpose? It's a bit like some of these like trans ally types that a lot of trans people fall for when actually they're doing nothing helpful. And it's just about satiating their own egos. Like, just because they're saying something, does that mean it's true? Is this the first time you've ever been lied to?
These men that care about women. It's just a ploy to try to get into their pants. You know, it's not...
Like, we're figuring out for the first time what people have been figuring out about other people forever, you know what I mean? Sex shaming, had intimate convos about sex, you're calling him a pervert. Yeah, maybe. Well, nothing he's done is like a crime, this is the thing. Like, he's dangerous and he's like a sick individual and a pervert. I don't know. He's a bit of a hypocrite, he's a liar. He's a player.
Like, I could go through everything that he has done. I could probably make a frickin' novel on it. And if you want, I can talk about some of them that I remember. Some of them I can't talk about because I'm legally not allowed to do so. Or it's legally a bad idea for me to talk about it. But I do want to say to this woman, thank you so much for coming forward. I didn't have strength for a while to be persistent on this, and you gave me that back. Thank you. And to all of the other victims, again, I'm always here.
We showed very little. We're saying some very strong things about this person based on quite lacking evidence, I would say. And I think that is like the end of the thread. And I mean, the responses are... I mean, for Twitter, you got some people fuck around, find out. Well, like, what's going to happen about this? Like, he's fucking around and finding out what? That some people are going to, like, complain about him on Twitter? Don't know about that. Who gives an F what you will or will not tolerate? I mean, the guy's a swat, but none of these women are victims. I mean, that's basically my take. He is a bit of a twat, but these aren't victims. Unless there's other stuff around that is not being shown. But this expose, you need to put your best foot forward. What are you opening? All right, there was some more stuff on here. This is thin, is what I'm saying. This is quite thin. I'm just not blown away by this at all. Like, we're like talking about so much here. Gonna post Hannah's receipts. Involved in walking in. Working with someone called Camille. Knew they were involved with a 14-year-old autistic child. So I called that person he instinctively. I don't know if they're male or trans or anything. That's a joke. You're not necessarily trans if you're dealing with a 14-year-old. Like, involved in, I don't know what that means. There was some more stuff. Let me just have a look. Southern FFA family. Harry Sisson exposed. There was like... Oh, it's the same one. We're having a space this evening. It's like 5 hours. I'll look at a bit of this, but like... More women coming out about Harry Sisson. People are going to come forward. One of them is alleging that Harry groomed a minor. Like, I don't know. I'd have to see anything about this. Okay, this is what I saw. Breaking: Harry Sisson, Dean Withers and Parker are on a conference call with their lawyers. Oh, Parker is the guy that Dean Withers basically hides behind. Dean Withers cannot debate, as far as I can tell. He sucks at it. So this Parker guy is the one that does it all for him. Current Harry and Chris situation. Dean, Harry, and Parker are on a conference call discussing a path forward with their lawyers. Dean just confirmed to me via our online Slack room that he's pissed at Harry. Harry is getting bitched out by the whole team as we speak. I know. Dean won't pay for Zoom. Wow. Mass reporting on TikTok. Yep, if you go after someone who is a big person, you're going to get harassed. Unfortunately, that's how it is. I'm not down with that at all. Sadly, that's how it is. Cult-like audiences. People act like it's a unique thing that if you're mean to J.K. Rowling and she is mean to you back, that you'll get harassed. It's the case for anyone with any kind of big following. Male feminist is a creep. In other words, water wet. Yeah, kind of, yeah. I mean, I don't know if I even think he's a creep. I think he's a bit of a fuckboy. I think he's leading people on. And he's definitely a bit of a hypocrite. But, like, is he a creep? I don't know about that. Also, hi, Wolf576 blah. I hope you're good. Bringing out how these men truly feel about women. Is this how they feel about women? Brian and his CN group are big mad. Forgot to mention when this went public, Dean Withers immediately threw Harry under the bus. I haven't seen any proof of this yet. What is this?
We have some major breaking news.
Oh, yes, we do, Harry. However, the real massive breaking news is about how you treat women. And look, before y'all tell me this is fake news, you are welcome to go to Sarah is Censored over on X. She has all the receipts. She's got the Snapchats. She's got the text messages. She's got the video messages. She has everything showing how Harry Sisson treats women, how he lies to them, how he convinces them to send him explicit messages, that they're wifey material, and that he would never talk to multiple women at the same time.
Maybe he's a sicko. Without proof, it just makes believing all real women victims more difficult. Yeah, I mean, there might still be stuff coming out. Currently what we have, like, if this was this Sarah Fields person's best foot forward, then it's not great. But maybe more will come out. Obviously, this is something that's like come out very recently. Maybe there's more. Someone said that he was grooming a minor. If there's proof of that, then geez, you know, that's going to change my mind some for sure. But what I've got to deal with, what I've got to look at the moment is not, it's not blowing me away. He seems like a dick, but I don't know about that. I like Dean Withers immediately threw him under, like, when was this?
Oh, and then when they call him out for it, he proceeds to gaslight the fuck out of them and try to paint them as insane. Wildly enough, that's not the most surprising part. I'm
starting to wonder if anyone generally holds claim beliefs or it's just a social tool to get what you want. I guess you can never really tell, ultimately. And if you're on the internet, there's always a element of, you know, if you're trying to make money on the internet off of it, then yeah, you know, there's always going to be that to think about. But you never truly know, do you?
The surprising part was watching Dean throw him under the bus within minutes. But yeah, go ahead and head on over and check out.
Yeah, when did Dean Withers do this? Like, if I look... Has he made a TikTok about it? What's the throwing under the bus? No, this is these are pinned. Trump calls media illegal. Stock market in free fall. Whatever the fuck this is. I don't know, man. I'm not seeing him throwing him under the bus, but... I'll look out for I'll look
out Sarah's report.
These are just people saying their opinions in MAGA hats. Like, yeah, I'm very surprised that you're going to go hell for leather against someone like Harry Sisson. I have absolutely no idea where it's coming from that Dean Withers threw him under the bus. I ain't seeing it myself. This is something about Josh Saiter taking Harry Sisson's side. I don't know. Anytime you mention anything about sexual impropriety on the Dems side, you're going to be told, yeah, well, you voted for Donald Trump. I mean, that two wrongs don't make a right, ultimately. But at the same time, we're making out that this guy's, like, seemingly worse than he is. So I don't know. I don't know. Is there anything else? Harry J. Sisson has just been exposed for abusive and dehumanizing behavior towards women. This didn't show abusive and dehumanizing behavior. Like, how many of these people, have none of them ever fuckboyed up on a woman? Have none of these ever, like, led someone on? Abusive. And it's like so many of them, it kind of, you wonder whether they're actually going after him, whether they're actually going this hard about him. Because of the things he's actually done and the evidence they've actually had a look at. Or if it's just about, well, he's against Trump or he's a liberal or something. I don't know, I ain't seeing nothing here. Where was the space thing? I'll look at that and then I'll find something else to look at, because this is underwhelming. They're all max headroom to me. True. Jack Doherty. I think, was that Dean Withers? I don't know. They all came from the same factory. Okay, this is not about all of this. I'm gonna post Hannah's receipts about Camille. I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro. Maybe more will come out. This is a bit thin at the moment. Let me just see. I'll look at some of this, but it's like 5.5 hours long. And at the moment, I'm very, very underwhelmed.
To populate before you could get into the really good stuff, and so you're always like trying to bullshit at the beginning, and like find stuff to talk about. And then once it gets populated and everybody shows up, then like all hell breaks loose, and you say get wild, and they're always a good time. So
you can't start too early, otherwise people will be like, "What? You repeat yourself 5 times?"
I know, and I don't want these girls to have to keep telling their story over and over and over again.
Can you repeat that for me?
Yeah. Are you guys going to be up for maybe fielding some questions later? Or do you just want to keep it strictly to discussion? Because we do have a lot of people kind of in our sphere of influence that will raise their hand and say, "Hey, I want to ask this, I want to ask that." So and we also invited accounts like Alpha Fox. We got Older Millennial here. These are bigger accounts. Part of the idea of doing this was to get you girls the biggest audience possible, to be able to tell your story. And Honey Badger's here; she's got a huge following. So it's going to be up to you guys if you want to take some questions later.
The biggest audience possible. Talk about Harry Sisson being a fuckboy.
Yeah, Margot, let's go.
A retard finders in here. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's going to be lit.
Did you invite
listening, and like we're young girls and
Republicans, we all are very left leaning. And to be very clear, this is not about a gotcha moment for him. This is not about a let's diss the liberal for doing fucked up shit to women. This is about warning young girls, because the majority of these girls were followers of him, and he took advantage of that power of being a larger content creator.
I mean, could you not argue this is something we need to probably teach young women anyway when they start following these like e-celebrities? I mean, we're in an age where the distance between yourself and like the people you look up to, like the celebrities that you follow and stuff, the distance is like less than ever. You can like directly contact these people these days. Like, I don't know. Does it really take being fuckboyed by Harry Sisson to start wanting to make this point? God.
To his advantage to manipulate girls into doing things they were uncomfortable with doing.
And that's why we're here tonight about, like, we're not making this a liberal issue or anything else. We know that what you ladies believe in, and that's your own prerogative tonight. Like, we're putting all of that aside. We're not going to talk about any politics. We're just here to listen to what you guys have to say in your story and how.
I taught my daughter about these people. Yeah, where are some of these people's parents? I don't know, man. Where are your parents?
All of this came about. So you don't have to worry about that. And just so you guys know, like, we are 100% with you guys. Like, if you run into any problems, you can message any of us at any time, and we're going to be behind you 100%. Whether it's a doxing issue or you're just scared or you just want somebody to talk to, like, you can reach out to most of us and we'll answer you within minutes. So don't have any fears about that.
Human decency and kindness doesn't know, it doesn't know a party. We're, ladies, please, if I want to really reassure you, nobody cares what politics anybody has, and I think that's getting broader and broader, so that won't even enter the correct me if I'm wrong, so that's not even going to enter the.
Destiny must be feeling a bit relieved. Jesus, if this is in any way comparable to the shit that Destiny is accused of, then we've officially just lost it as a species. Like, Jesus Christ. Like, compare this to Destiny. Compare this to like Vorsh or someone like that. This is like nothing.
The conversation. This is about individuals who are taken advantage of. And
like taken advantage of, like, it's shitty behavior. But I mean, has this kind of thing not been going on since the dawn of time? And yeah, probably gotten worse with the internet, with how much easier it is to get in touch with anyone you want. But like, man,
to support whomever, no matter, I don't care who anybody voted for. I care about people.
I appreciate that personally. I think it's very important to put aside politics when it comes to this because of who we're talking about. Also, what you just said, like, we're all human. And I think, like, just us as liberals.
Yes, this isn't about politics. Fascinating. When do we actually talk about something?
Liberals or Democrats, the reason that you guys are doing that. And thank you so much for, like, willing to hear us out and not just, like, making accusations. But I just mean everyone listening, and like, we're young girls and it's really hard to come out and talk about something like this. So all of like the backlash and all of that has just been overwhelming. And like, for everyone listening,
P. Diddy is relieved this came out. Holy shit.
Diana and I had just reconnected yesterday because we used to be good friends and then this guy split us apart. So it's just been a big whirlwind of stuff.
I'm curious about, like, obviously, we don't.
This guy split us apart, so that must be that Reese person that Diana person was talking about. The other person listened to someone about you. Did they even try and get your side of the story? Like, spreading shit about people isn't cool. Or, like, telling people that they should, like, ditch someone. But, like, the other girl is the one that actually went through with it, you know what I mean? Like, why'd she listen to him?
We don't want to talk about politics, but you travel in circles with like-minded people. And so now that you come out about this and Harry is kind of a hero or an influencer, how are the people kind of in your personal circle? Are you getting like a mix? Are you getting, are they getting defensive and defending him, or are they supporting you?
Sorry, Diana. Okay. I think that I can, speaking for myself, the only backlash, if this is the only time that I will address party sides in this, the only backlash that I've gotten is from the conservative side. Every single person on.
Why'd you let a guy split you apart? Yeah, like, what is this, like, female solidarity shit that we've been, like, talking about for years and years and years? It doesn't seem like many people have been listening. You know what I mean? Like,
in my circle, my followers, my Discord, stuff like that, have given me and all of these girls overwhelming support. Unfortunately, it's been not the same on the other side. This has been found to be just another thing for people to
self-infantilization. Well, I guess they have to kind of diminish their own responsibility to an extent by calling themselves girls and not women. I guess that's something they have to do. Would they be doing that depending on the situation? I don't know.
Go after me for.
And I'm so sorry that happened to you. There's rot on both sides. And trust me when I say, as far as exposing people, I have exposed the right and the left equally. And I'm so sorry that's happened, which is why I made it very clear in my thread towards the end that if anyone, I don't care how far right or left or middle, if anyone had any derogatory comments made about any of y'all, that it was...
Okay, I still don't care, like, the politics thing. Who cares? Yes, you should go after someone irrespective of, like, what side they're on. That's not what the issue here. It's the actual content. If it was a far-right guy or a far-left guy instead of fucking Harry Sisson, I'd feel the same way, presumably. I don't think I did anything wrong. It's very delusional to think a famous man who discloses he's not looking so serious and he will change his mind when he sees your news. Maybe, yeah. I think you got to expect that these kind of people, there's not gonna... You have to expect that someone like this, they're gonna have so many women in their inbox. Are you as special as you think you are? I don't know. Guy isn't a politician. Why are all these political commenters spending so much time? Well, I mean, I don't know. He's someone that propagates the other side. They want to discredit those kinds of people as much as possible. It happens on both ways. To be honest, he had his way with their heads already. He's a political influencer. Not much of a leap to push more thoughts in their heads. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you could talk about like power imbalances and stuff like that with him getting involved in specific people's friendships or relationships for sure. But like, where's the agency on the other side? And like, oh, we're just girls and stuff. It's off to me. It feels very off.
No matter what, it's wrong. It doesn't matter which side you're on.
A liberal is because I'm, a little further left, and he's there.
God, we're still talking about like what side of the aisle people are. Who cares? Almost half an hour in. Can we talk about something of substance, please?
We're missing, I know, one from my list, so I don't know. I think one from your list as well. So we were just going to wait to see if they were able to join. But if
she may join later. I don't know when she'll be able to join, but it might be later.
Waiting on the space to populate. When we do spaces like this, when we get big topic co-hosts, definitely going to hear everything he has to say on this. But this is not about him. This is
man on that app. I get told I'm sleeping with them, and I just...
She feels the worst about the situation because she was manipulated into losing a friendship. It wasn't even just about him, if that makes sense. So it kind of just like pit girls against each other.
But you're not letting him. He's pitting girls against each other. But one of the people followed through with what he was saying.
The way that all of us have been able to openly communicate and talk about it, and like jealousy is put aside, all of us are just set on, wow, this guy is an absolute douche.
Can you explain how he pitted y'all against each other? Like, what did he specifically do? How did he manipulate y'all so that in his attempts to turn y'all against each other?
Sure. So I'll let Diana speak for her part. But for me, we had met because I started going live on TikTok. I just got into the debate space when I first started talking to Harry, and I had seen him come up on her live, and he told me that they were just friends and like they weren't talking. And I had messaged her asking to like learn from her because she's more prominent in like debating on TikTok. So we became friends and we talked about all of that, like politics, and we didn't really talk about him that much because she learned that like I was talking to him, and then like the two of us stopped talking about him, I guess, as much because that was kind of like separate. But then eventually this photo got leaked of my conversation with him, and he had told her to block me because I'm a crazy fangirl. I fabricated the whole thing, made up like the whole conversation, and I apparently made fake photos of him with like AI or something, I guess, which that's crazy because I don't know how to do that. And I didn't even have any like explicit photos of him, so I don't know why he felt the need to bring that up. So there's that whole thing. And I think, Diana, you probably have more to say on this.
Yeah, so with the situation with Reese, this is really, like in my personal case, this is really all I care about because it's fucked. Basically, he and I had talked on and off for the last 2 years. We started talking because I used to panel on his lives pretty consistently and debate with him. He then on that live in 2022 was talking about, hitting on me and flirting with me, talking about like joking around and all of this stuff. He made it pretty clear that he was attracted to me. And so I hit him up and we started talking from there. That was fine. I am one of the few that was aware of the...
You become a champion of a cause, your downfall compromises the integrity of your movement. This gives an incentive to go after figureheads. That's very true. That's very true. But stuff like this does not, there's not going to be a downfall from stuff like this. Like, he could do far, far worse than this, and there probably wouldn't be a downfall. Like I keep mentioning, with people like Vorsh or Destiny, those people are not going down and haven't gone down as a result of some of the weird fucking shit that they've been up to, it turns out. Weird and, in some cases, like, actually quite fucked up. Especially Destiny, you know? And those people are going to be fine. So, like, if this isn't going to bring the downfall of him, then it's like, well, I don't know. I just don't... I don't know that I see the point in any of this. Like, he got outed as a bit of a dick.
Situation. I knew that he was a player. I knew that this was completely casual. That was fine with me. And it went on and on again, off again for a while. And then in November, we had this like unspoken rule of not interacting with each other on TikTok specifically, mainly to keep his privacy and keep me out of it, because every single time I interact with any kind of man on that app, I get told I'm sleeping with them, and I just didn't want it getting out. But in November, he followed me and then requested up onto my panel. I let him on the panel. He was up there. He very outwardly hit on me while on the panel in the comments, all this stuff, was texting me during it. And afterwards, I ended up actually getting death threats and things like that from some actual like crazy fangirls. But then I also, at the end of that live, said, I want more Gen Z women in the debate space. I really want to see more young women getting up here and debating. If you want to, DM me, and I will put you up on my panel. And so later that night, Reese hit me up. She messaged me to see if she could get on my panel, obviously, and also to find out if I was talking to Harry. I lied to her and told her no, because I didn't know her, didn't want her in my business, and yeah. And
why are they so invested in whether each other are talking to Harry Sisson or not? I don't get it.
That's when she told me, oh, well, I'm talking to him. I hadn't talked to him in a few days.
It sounds more like they're quite willing to pit themselves against each other. You know what I mean? Like, they're that concerned about like what they're doing. Philip Schofield had his downfall because what he presented was at odds with his private actions. Philip Schofield wasn't just fuckboying a bunch of people whilst not even in a relationship with anyone. Like, was he even cheating on anyone? Like, Philip Schofield was like worse in a lot of ways. I don't know. I need to look over that kind of thing again. But like, he was involved with like an underage boy. It came across had been very dishonest with people for a long time. His brother was a nonce, and he knew and didn't want to go out and expose him, didn't want to stop him or something. Like, what was it? His brother told him that he was a nonce, and all he was like, oh, well, stop doing it or something. Didn't talk to the police, didn't take any action to make sure that his brother can't do it anymore and that he faces accountability for what he did. Like, the Schofield thing was a lot more complicated. This guy's just being a bit of a fuckboy with e-girls, you know what I mean? And these e-girls are fine with it up until they realize that they're not the only one that he's fuckboying with. Like, there's just no comparison, I would say.
Days, and so I just didn't continue speaking to him for a while after that, after I found out that she had been talking to him. And I was like, okay, slay, you can have a girl. Her and I ended up getting really close. We would talk on the phone constantly, doing lives together constantly. And then one day I got a DM from him after not talking for a while saying, I need you to do me a favor. I said, what's the favor? He said, I need you to block Reese. And I was like, oh, wow, that's a big favor. I need to get both sides of the story. And so I called Reese, and her and I talked, and she gave me her side. Him and I talked, and he gave me his side, which was basically to call her crazy, say that all of it was fabricated, saying that like the farthest they had gone was a very light, flirty Instagram DM once. And that's like all that they had talked about, which obviously now I know is bullshit, but that's what he told me.
Yeah, the other thing was Schofield was in front of like millions of people on TV like every fucking day. Like, yeah, I don't know. The Schofield stuff is like way more complex. Harry Sisson's just a bit of a fuckboy.
He also told me that a couple of other creators, including Chris, had already blocked her and told all of their followers to do it. And I was like, okay, I've known this guy for 2 years. I have known her a couple of weeks. I know these other guys. Outside of him being this like playboy that I
Yeah, you're kind of blaming him for your own bad behavior. No offense. I say bad behavior. You believed a guy because he's famous and you've known him a bit longer. It's not a good thing to do. You shouldn't just believe something someone says. And it sounds like that's what you've done. Like, for me, if someone tells me to block someone, if someone tells me to stop talking to someone, and there's no real evidence as to why I should, then I'm just not going to do that. I don't know, man. I talk to a lot of people. Well, I say a lot of people. I exchange like DMs with a fair few people that are quite controversial to people here sometimes. Like I talk to Olivia occasionally. I talk to like Amaya occasionally. It's been a while because everyone she's friends with seems to be insane. I'm very, very cognizant of that. Like if someone's like, oh, don't talk to this person. It's like, well, isn't that up to me? I'm 34 years old. I can handle my own shit. Like this is like playground shit. I understand getting played hurts, but this just sounds like a promiscuous dude. Time to self-reflect and make better choices. Yeah, I agree. Also, hi Serena, I hope you're good. Ned Fulmer from Try Guys. Public persona has proven to be a complete lie like Philip. I'd have to look into that, but I don't see this going anywhere. Like, these people have like very cult-like, very dedicated audiences. And they'll believe anything this person says. It kind of sounds like the person talking is one of them, honestly. Willing to block someone because someone else says that. You know what I mean? This is like a no-go. I don't know, man. I think it's much more likely someone like this, you end up like Destiny than you end up like Philip Schofield. Like your cult-like audience will stick with you regardless, you know?
Knew he was. I was like, okay, I think he's like a half decent human being, and I don't think that he would lie about something like this, and I don't know her like that.
Like this is your own naivety speaking. I'm sorry. Why are you blaming him for this? I think it's shitty to go around and say, "I'll block this person." They're bad news. Like if they're that bad news, then prove it. Like, Jesus Christ, you got to take your own like responsibility for your own actions here, though. Kind of feels like it's much easier to blame him. And, oh, well, we were pitted against each other, so now let's pit ourselves against him. Like, let's learn the lesson and move on.
And so I blocked her. I aided in getting her kicked off of the internet because after that, him and Chris.
No alarm bells when someone says, hey, guys, let's all gang up together to ostracize as one person, as I said so. Is this an audience of actual children? More or less, yeah. Very, very young audience these people have. Like, this is... I don't know, man. This kind of shit has been going on since the dawn of time, probably. But now we're in the age where instead of learning your lesson and, you know, brushing yourself off and moving on, doing better in future, we have to all expose every tiny thing on the internet. Fair enough. I don't think Philip or the Try Guys had a cult like loyalists. Yeah, possibly not. And the other thing, like I said, like celebrities are just much closer to their fans than they used to be. And someone like Philip Schofield especially, like, whatever fans he had, they're not, like, 18-year-old girls, you know? Like, these are young, impressionable people.
Chris and other creators sent their dogs after her. They sent their followers and harassed the shit out of her to where she had to delete everything. Him, I think he's, like, a half-decent human being, and I don't think that he would lie about something like this, and I don't know her like that. And so I blocked her. I aided in getting her kicked off of the internet because after that, him and Chris and other creators.
So at least you're saying I aided in it. At least you're kind of understanding that you did some wrong here. But then why are we, like, exposing Harry Sisson over this? Like, yeah, he's a bit of a dick. I could have told you he was a bit of a dick from one debate that I've watched where he acted like a complete dick.
Sent their dogs after her. They sent their followers and harassed the shit out of her to where she had to delete everything.
It also really pisses me off, not because of anything that Diana said, but I was on the phone with Harry yesterday mid-afternoon trying to like explain to him why I was so pissed off, why I was getting involved, because I'm kind of separate from a lot of the girls where I also didn't really think that we had like an exclusive thing or anything like that. I knew how he was, but I was just really mad because he lied again and told me last night that Diana made that up and was basically like, no, that's not what I said. I never said that. That's crazy. So he just continues to lie a lot.
Well, then you need receipts. You need to be able to show. If you're having these kind of conversations with like a more famous person, be cognizant of they might be using that to like manipulate you. Like, get some receipts. I don't know, man. I can't date Libra, man. Fair enough. I don't know much about like astrology.
Basically, he used the same line on her that he used on me to get.
They should show his hypocrisy by showing clips or tweets of him claiming to be also feminist or something. Yeah. Like, Instead of making out that he's got like victims and that he's a predator or like dangerous or something. Like, show off his hypocrisy. Yeah, that's fine. I agree with that. The guy's a bit of a fucking hypocrite. Like, criticize him, that's fine, but we're like losing our shit over here. Like, exposing Harry Sisson as what? As a bit of a dick. I don't know.
Anyway, but yeah.
And also, like, he had said some pretty convincing things last night. Like, I'm sure most of you guys, if you've been following along with the story, know who Carly is. He had told me that Carly's insane because she's made like 40 plus videos about him. And this guy does this for a living. This is his job. He's good at talking.
To be fair, the Carly stuff I was not convinced by. She thought there was something more going on than what she was. I'm sorry, man. That happens. People fuck you over. Men lead women on. Women lead men on. But nowadays, it's like a Me Too issue. I've been led on by this guy, therefore I must make out that he's Satan incarnate. Liberals extremely... Oh, I thought you said Libra. Liberals extremely charming people. Well, anyone can be charming.
And manipulating people because of the practice that he has. And I'm not...
I don't know. I'm a liberal myself. I don't know how charming I am, but I don't know.
Saying that every content or every video he makes for his content is like manipulative or anything like that. Like, I was a supporter of his content. I know a lot of you probably don't like to hear that. But yeah, so he's very good at talking, and I was very mad at myself for believing anything he said up until he was like, no, Diana's lying.
Oh, you did mean Libra. Okay, fair enough.
I'm so sorry for you girls that he has done nothing but used you guys against each other. Like, I know how hard this is as a female to get rid of a friendship because of what somebody else says. And I'm glad that you guys have all gotten...
It's hard. You're the one that did it. Oh, it's so hard to ditch someone because someone more famous told you to. Like, really?
Girls, that he has done nothing but used you guys against each other. Like, I know how hard this is as a female to get rid of a friendship because of what somebody else says. And I'm glad that you guys have all gotten back together and you're working on relationships together and trying to...
We're working on relationships by going ham at the guy who you should have just told to fuck off or something. Don't know, bro. Don't know. This is a bit silly. This is a bit silly so far. I'm sorry. I'm really... The more I look into this, the more I'm just like, what is this? What are we doing here? Like, this almost seems desperate in a way.
Get to your truths, and that's what we're here tonight about. So with that, I want to... Sarah came in late, so I do want to ask her. Sarah, we have been told that Harry may join us tonight. If he does, do you mind if he comes up? If not, we have no problem not letting him up. It's completely up to you.
I could not care less. He can do whatever he wants.
Claire, I love you.
Like, I do not care. Like, have fun.
So with that, I want to go... Sarah, do you want to tell your story and how you got all connected with this?
Clout chasing? Yeah, possibly. Oh, no, they can't be clout chasing because one of them said, oh, this is not about clout, so it can't be... I'm kidding.
And Harry and the ladies.
Yeah, so basically...
I mean, cancelling someone is one of the best ways of getting clout, but it's also very risky because if it goes wrong, you're probably going to get yourself ostracized. And I don't know what's going to happen here, to be clear. But it seems there's an awful lot of people out there. They use that kind of thing as a way of getting clout. Oh, I want an audience, I'll cancel someone. Someone like Ethan is Online's channel starts falling down. I know, I'll help cancel fucking supermega. And it didn't work, so he troons out. I don't know.
Basically, I made a video about it the end of last year, the beginning of this year. We were kind of talking. It was really just like explicit photos, which I didn't mind sending. I really didn't have a problem with it. I figured it was just something casual. But then he told me that there was no roster. So he just implying, there's no one else he's talking to. It's just me. He's not receiving photos from anyone else. And he would just kind of make comments here and there that made me feel like it was, I just felt like maybe because of also his persona online, he wouldn't be the type of person that would just be looking for explicit photos. I kind of thought that, and I let him know as well, like, it seems like your friends are in relationships, and I don't know if that's what you want as well, because that's what I want. And he just kept telling me he didn't know what he wanted. I would ask him,
Didn't know what he wanted. So then he ends up not getting with you, like...
what do you want? And he would just say, literally, no. So he kind of just refused to talk to me about it. And then We kind of stopped talking this year because I just kind of had enough of like not knowing, and he was just annoying me, honestly. And then he posted the soft launch with his girlfriend, and I commented on it because the timing felt like very close to when we were talking. To which Carly saw my comment and messaged me, and then that's how like this whole thing started.
Honey Badger.
Just a couple of questions, ladies. So was there a time when, like, so when you first met him, and perhaps, he seemed like a big influencer, and certainly one would assume that a person would handle themselves very carefully.
Yeah, it's casual and they're fine with it, but also he's a predator and abuser. Like, wow.
If they were an influencer, right? Because they don't want to ruin their name or their reputation. You know what I mean? Like, I think that would be the assumption, personally. But so when you started to communicate with him, you can either or not share who communicated with who first, but what was that like? So in other words, was he extremely, was he extremely flattering? Was he, like, wow, you're incredible? Like, how did your meeting with him and your communication with him at its,
They keep saying roster. As someone in their 30s, I'm going to assume that it's like young people speak. I don't know. All right, wait. I don't know how much more I'm going to do of this, because this is much of a nothing right now. And this goes on for another 4 hours 42 of like what?
At its inception look? Or what was that like?
Personally, for me, I was a fan of his, and I had DM'd him, and then he DM'd me back a photo of myself and said, "Damn, this is you." And I said, yeah. So that was how that started.
So how did it go from there?
It was kind of just, I kind of figured it would be something casual, just based off of the way.
Is it possible, given his audience is very left-wing, they might find this unacceptable conduct? You're going to get the odd few, but for the most part, when people are that dedicated to one person, I mean, like I said, someone like Destiny's audience is like left-leaning. He was like recording women potentially without their permission and sending it to people. You'd think that an audience like that would find that bad, but they don't seem to be. You're getting some that are dropping off. But like, I don't know, let's say a few thousand people stop watching Harry Sisson over this. That's nothing to him. That's a drop in the ocean.
We were talking. I didn't really take it that seriously.
Sorry, it's not 4 hours. It's like 5.5 hours total, but we've still got like 4:41 to go. I'm not watching all of this, to be clear. Like, I might skip through towards the end to see if it's just the same kind of shit. But at the moment, we're like, wow, this is all the same stuff that we've already seen, and it's just weak. We're calling him an abuser for like what? Being a fuckboy, being a bit manipulative, leading multiple women on. It's not good behavior. It's not cool to do, but it's really not much.
But again, I didn't think that he would be the type of person that would want something casual, which is why I started talking to him more, trying to ask him, like, what are you looking for? I didn't know if I was just getting the wrong idea, because online he just seems very different. And that was kind of like the last thing I expected from that person.
Like, based on how he acts online, this is what I thought he'd be like. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. You got played.
So when I would ask, like, what's the deal? What's going on? And he would say, no, there's no one else. And it just kind of continued from there until it got to a point where I was like, if you're not going to tell me what you want, or it's just going to be this like roundabout game of you. Like,
this is all like drink a bottle of wine and cry yourself to sleep and then find something else to think about the next day kind of shit to me.
Like, just like teasing me and trying to.
Yeah, I wouldn't say these stories are vague. Like, there's not a huge amount of proof. We have already looked through a whole bunch of stuff, like some of this stuff that this Sarah Fields person has posted. But at the same time, what they're saying is like, oh, well, I thought he was exclusive with me and it was just me he was chatting to, and it turned out he was lying. Like, I was chatting with him for like over 6 months, and then suddenly he gets with someone that lives much closer to him, and we never met in person. He just flirted a bit and it fell off. Yeah, well, I can see why they'd feel they got played. I can see why they might feel they got like led on a little bit. It doesn't even seem like he was like explicitly trying to do that. There's points where he's kind of saying that he's not looking for anything, and it's very
say certain things that like keep me around. How
are they upset? Well, he's famous, and they wanted to be the one. They wanted to be the one that was special for this famous guy. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I'm all set on that.
Why has no one elaborated on the minor this guy allegedly groomed? Apparently that's coming. I'm going to post receipts tomorrow regarding the story about Harry being involved working with someone called Camille. There was something else about him grooming someone, but this is, I mean, I don't know, man. If I refresh... Wait, if I refresh, will this mess this up? Fuck's sake. 14 minutes, none of that. Oh, this person has just started posting again, so they might actually post some of these receipts soon. But so far, the receipts have been nothing. The problem is, based on how they've gone forward so far, if there is more, they might have already kind of blown it with a lot of people. There might be a lot of people that will be like, well, so far it seems a bit ridiculous, so why would I continue to keep an eye on this? You know what I mean? So I don't know. Anyone posted anything down here? What the fuck? What's up with these guys playing devil's advocate? Well, you kind of have to do that, right? You don't just believe anyone that says anyone's a bad person, especially when they've said that this person's abusive. If you're going to call someone abusive and then not show abuse, then yeah, people are going to play devil's advocate. Why don't you go after the actual predator in this case instead of attaching Harry's name? To be clear, if Harry knew about this person as a predator and didn't do anything about it, then it's fair enough to shame him for it. But we still need to see what the actual thing is. I once got a mistext and played along till I found out the other person was 14. My next text was, is your mom single? Jesus Christ. Maybe the reason for all this is slow news week. Well, maybe. But I mean, hey, this is definitely the kind of thing that people do for clout. This is definitely the kind of thing. If someone thinks that they can make a story out of this, they probably will spin it as much as they can and hope that enough people like latch onto it. But it seems a lot of people have been very critical of this, and I think that's fair enough. I think just someone complaining people are playing devil's advocate, well, that's what you should do. Isn't there such thing as like innocent until proven guilty?
Yeah, you were trying to get your bearings underneath you, like what's actually going on.
Right.
So did his actions or his words change at that point?
Not necessarily. It kind of was an ongoing conversation where I felt like he would give me a little bit and then there wouldn't, and then it would be like nothing. And then there'd be a little bit and there'd be nothing. So it was hard for me to kind of figure out what was going on, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Like at first he's like, oh, hey, whatever. And then kind of like just ghosting you a little bit.
Yeah.
But then we'll come back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was just like little by little things here and there.
They're not getting clout, they're embarrassing themselves. Well, that's the risky take, isn't it? It's a bit like Ethan is online and that Lex Updog person, all those. They all cancelled someone called Supermega on the internet. It worked for a little bit, and then the more that came out, the more that was going on, the more it backfired. So like these kind of things, it's a risk-reward thing. Like you might cancel someone, and enough people believe that when you say that they're a terrible person, that, that you gain out of it. But what might happen is people might realize that that you're full of shit. People might see through it. And like, honestly, I wonder if the rewards are proportional to the risks. I think there's more risk until whatever it is. Innocent until guilty doesn't actually apply to the court of public opinion. Yeah, but should it though? Should people believe in innocent until proven guilty? Should people question things when there's really not that much proof? For example, we call Harry Sis an abuser. Should we not presume innocent until proven guilty? And say, well, if you haven't proved that this guy's an abuser, why would I believe that he's an abuser? It doesn't matter whether it actually is or not. Of course, it isn't always done that way because the court of public opinion, plenty of people are just not very intelligent and plenty of people want someone like Harry Sisson to be guilty. What I'm saying is that's how it should be done. Isn't Supermega like bigger than that? Probably. And it went so well for Ethan is online that he's now pruning out, so. Yeah. Well, I mean, you can apply innocent until proven guilty to anything. And they're accusing him of being an abuser. So yeah, that's the kind of mindset I'm going to do. That's the kind of mindset I'm going to have. Well, you need to prove that. You need to prove that he is what you're saying he is. If you're going to say someone is something and they're not that thing, to me, to me, that's why I would apply innocent until proven guilty. It doesn't matter whether that's what's normally done or not. I think that's how people should think about these things. And that's how I personally approach these kind of things.
In there. I definitely, like I said in my video, also was not under the impression that we were exclusive, but I told him that was what I wanted. And so it was just like, you know, kind of the back and forth thing where I'm like, okay, is that what you want? Or is that not what you want? Or like the comments that you're making are making me think that's what you want. Like it was just very confusing. And it kind of had gotten to a point after like a month and a half where I was like, I'm not doing this with you anymore because I'm not getting anywhere with you. So
were there repercussions after that?
Yeah, the super mega thing was nuts. I might go over it one day. What has happened? Oh, I might go over it one day because to me it's a clear sign of Ethan is online being one of the... I tuned out because I shamed myself, you know what I mean? Like, how many times do we see sexual assaulters then come out as trans? How many times do we see people that embarrass the ever-loving fuck out of themselves and then come out as trans? Okay, well, you can't criticize me anymore because I'm trans. Like, fuck that shit. So I might go over the super mega thing one day.
yeah, I mean, he was just, I felt like he was very weird online on lives. Just because I was like a supporter for a while, so I just felt like there were certain things here and there that I was like, that comment felt a little weird because it was right after we had stopped talking, or just kind of little things here and there. But I mean, I didn't take any of it to heart because I was like, I don't want to deal with you. And then the biggest thing was when he called me and Carly lunatics the other day, and I was like, yeah, no, I've had enough.
Okay, so after that, like being said, you kind of left it as is. Oh, now you're crazy. I get you.
Right. It was, you know, these people are lunatics. They're insane. We've been talking about this the past couple of days. They're crazy. They're crazy. And I'm like, I don't even know what I did.
Dude, Harry did the same thing to me. Like he just will have a knee-jerk reaction. He'll get mad or whatever, and he has no like actual defense. So he just says blurts out.
Well, I think it's a little different when you're playing with a girl's heart. I mean, like I get what you're saying, Alpha, but you know, we as grown-ass people, you know, and so thank you. And so, but so like you're kind of heading into that, like Hannah or YG, whoever wants to jump in first. Was your experience similar or was it totally different?
I'll just jump in quick. I was never a fan of Harry. We met because we were both kind of on the OG political TikTok, whatever, at the same time. We were both gaining followers, the same momentum. I went to school, so I kind of stopped. But he was a very, and I feel like this is important, he was a very, very different person before he started to gain this mass of attention and fame, if you will. He was very shy and like... Actually, no, I will. So, like, very just loser behavior. And, like, when I had my little thing with...
Okay, listen, this circle jerk is not giving me anything new so far. There's another 4 hours 37. I don't know what the rest of it has. It looks like we've updated. Just give me one sec. I think Charlie's back, and then I'll look at this thing right here. Okay, so the call thing, I don't know. Is there more interesting stuff in there? Possibly. Doesn't seem like we're getting much new info, but there is this update here. So this is Hannah. Unfortunately, many content creators on X embedded a video from my thread last night and misconstrued the truth about what she said. Last night on the space, we had to give the girls a platform to share the stories. She clarified everything. So that was what we were listening to. Summary: Harry Sisson worked for a young man called Camille Maroon. According to Hannah, Camille was coaching and potentially grooming a 14-year-old autistic teen in Australia. According to Hannah, she informed Harry about Camille's behavior. Harry acted as if he was appalled and said he was going to report the issue to the FBI. Once he said those things, Hannah was happy and said, okay, I'm glad we can be friends again. Harry then immediately asked Hannah for nudes. However, Harry lied. He did not report the issue to anyone. He stayed silent and continued working for Camille. Whilst we are not accusing Harry of a crime, it's important that everyone understands that knowing of a crime and not reporting it for your own benefit is considered a crime in itself. At a minimum, I hope this is investigated. So we'll look at this, and I might move on after that. Let's see what this Hannah person is saying.
Shall we?
So before I get into these around 50 screenshots providing evidence and context for anything that I've said, I do want to reiterate something just for even more context. I met Harry in summer of 2020. We were both kind of like the original political TikTokers, and we were on the Dem Hype House, which was a huge political TikTok account. Our relationship has always been friend-based. However, when I did go to Jersey to visit my aunt, he has a summer house there, so we did hook up a couple times. So it was kind of like friends with benefits, but it was kind of established that if we saw each other in person, we'd probably hook up. But our conversations outside of seeing each other in person or whatever were never really like flirty or anything like that. So I was never under any sort of impression that we were exclusive ever. We never were like that. So my story is going to be different than a lot of these girls. Just
Is it a crime to not report? I'm not sure, but I mean, it's going to depend as well, like, what we're actually showing. The gelding. Hey. It's kind of true, though.
Putting that out there. So up until about maybe the beginning of 2023, I would have considered Harry one of my best friends. And let me know if you see a pattern here. But what really kicked that off was that he was the one recording my rapist when I called him and got him admitting to raping me on audio, okay? Which was great, whatever. And then Harry started drinking. So when Harry started drinking, he started getting a lot more aggressively flirty. I apologize for my hand tremors, I can't control them, but if you want to pause and screenshot those, these are times in which Harry was getting obliterated drunk and calling, FaceTiming.
Listen, these are all like linked below as far as I know, so we don't actually need to look at what she's showing. So if it's not very clear, then we'll be able to see shortly anyway.
And saying very sexual things to me. I didn't really care. You know, it's whatever, drunk words, sober thoughts, you get it. And then this is when I noticed kind of a shift in Harry. He started to gain a lot more attention, a lot more of a following, and he created a Discord, in which it was a very exclusive Discord, and very strange, creepy people were allowed in the Discord. I was in it for a little bit, but I was like never allowed to talk in it, so that's where Harry meets somebody named Camille, okay? I was advised not to, by my father, not to pursue an internship or a job with this Camille guy because my dad said he looked sketchy. Harry decided to go ahead and do so. And this is when I started getting messages from a minor, whom I will not say the name, with autism, who was also in the Discord. He was probably around 14 at the time. And he was sending me some concerning things regarding what Camille would send to him. Those are things I cannot show for legal reasons, but very much so did happen, and I contacted his mom, everything. But you know who was working for him? Harry. And I told
We can't show. Are we going to give any like indication of what was in there though?
Harry about everything that Camille was doing. Here's a proof of that. This is a conversation between Camille and the minor in question. Camille texts him, why do they know so many details then? Why do they have screenshots? And in those same texts, you will see him saying he's going to lose a business partner, aka Harry. Now, Harry would respond with, yeah, that's super messed up. I won't work for him anymore. That's crazy. And then I got this message from the minor saying that Harry still is working for Camille. So I reached out to Harry. And this is the conversation from that little debacle. And then it got to a point wherein I was seeing if I should be contacting the police because this minor happens to be based internationally. He's not in America. And I advised Harry that I'm doing so. And he starts advising me not to do so. Through FaceTime audio, mind you. But here's the conversation about him advising me not to do so. And if you see with all of the other girls too, he loves calling women lunatics, they're crazy, conspiracy theory, his favorite. Okay, let's continue. Oh, here's a random little tidbit, not really related to what I'm talking about, but I figured I'd share screenshots of Harry with my saved inappropriate photos in the chat. See, I am really sitting here admitting that I did send inappropriate, because it was like a fun little fling. For me, this is like less about the romantic part of anything. I don't really mind that. I don't like that they're saved, but like the whole inappropriate photos thing, not really my main issue. The context of it is though. So hold on. So here's me saying point blank to Harry, what's a conspiracy theory? The grooming part of me quite literally finding your relationship with Camille and all of this is suspicious. That's a speculation, not a theory. Anyway, and this is after Harry called me about 20 times and me not answering, and him saying, this is truly insane, like, Kenny, you don't know anything about Camille in this entire situation, nor do you know what Chris and I dealt with when it came to Camille. Essentially, like, putting his issues with Camille above the fact that he's literally grooming a minor. Anyway. Eventually, however, I was manipulated into thinking that he was no longer working for Camille. Whoops. So then October 7th happens. I don't know if I showed this already, but this is also important in the context of everything. I'm sorry, this is so confusing. Everything is everywhere. Okay. So then Harry calls me saying that he's making some federal complaint against Camille. Okay, and I'm like, period, right? So here's that conversation. Essentially, he tells me that 2 other people are in on it. And then I said, okay, we had a little tip path behind us. We're homies now. He then asked me for nudes, unsent the message. And that's what I was talking about when I said, tried to get me to send him nudes because he pretended that he cared about the predation. So I said, I saw that, you freak. Are you drunk or something? Okay. But I didn't realize that until way later on because then October 7th happened and we were constantly arguing about that. So here is me trying to call Harry because I was trying to talk to him about, Middle East stuff. He questions. He says he's tired. I say whatever. He goes, you know what it's a perfect time for though? Referring to nudes. I said, you're funny. Then he unsent a message and I said, I saw that, you freak. Anyways. Then I had a phone call with the minor. He called me at like 10 p.m. I was like, what the fuck? I answer and he's asking these really, really strange questions. And I'm like, what the hell? Come to find out, Harry and Camille were working together to try to get me to say something. So if I say anything in the future, I'd lose my credibility. Okay. And here, I know it's small. I was trying to preserve ink. And I know it's probably going to be backwards too. Whatever. I'll post these more straight up next time. That is the fake cease and desist I received soon after for $500,000, accusing me of racism on TikTok because I have anti.
So how old are these people? Like, they're all about 20, 22, that kind of thing.
Zionist approaches to things, amongst a ton of other insane things, which I will share later on. So I confronted him about it, yada, yada, yada. And if I didn't already have enough proof of him asking me for inappropriate pictures at very inappropriate times, here's more, where I say to him, so true, he wanted me to stop picking an argument with him, stupid. So true, I'll meet you in the middle. Next time you want inappropriate pictures, just find someone else and leave me alone next time. He said, yeah, that definitely works for me. So there's him admitting that. Anyways, here's also more creepy text regarding inappropriate photos. I don't remember the context of some of these, so. Now when the creepy texts and threats come in, this is my favorite part. All of these are all screenshots of threatening texts I got. But it doesn't end there. I have an audio. So I got a phone call from a blocked number when I was home in California. My sister recorded this, and this is kind of what happened.
Ew, don't post anything about who?
Camille.
Who's Camille? I was lying.
Maroon.
Oh, Camille Maroon. Or what? Or what?
Or I'll fucking kill you.
There's an example. So when Harry and I kind of went dark, you know, like we stopped talking to each other altogether, it was because he found out that I was still talking to this guy I used to talk to. And he called me, told me to go fuck myself. Was just super fucking pissed that was happening. So maybe he thought I owed something to him, but I didn't. And I didn't think he thought I did. I don't fucking know. Also the end all was the loss of my now regrettable friendship with my old friend Melina, whom I have a screenshot on that. This is her essentially ending the friendship with me because I was posting shit about Harry. So, I mean, who knows? I don't know if any of this made sense. I'm really sorry that all of this is backwards in regards to the screenshots. I will be kind of breaking it down in parts, but this is just kind of the full account. There are definitely things that I missed and screenshots that I did not show because it's just I don't have much time left in this. So there's more to the story, but there's just some evidence on some of this stuff.
All right, it seems very confusing, but let's see what all these are. So receipts 1. Come on, Matt. Like, help me out a little bit. What is? How do I make these like actually? Okay. I'll just have to do that every single time, I guess. I couldn't have saved like screenshots. Had to like print all this stuff out of the worst printer ever. I'm gonna call back in a sec. I may have alcohol liaising. Does it mean poisoning? Call me back ASAP. And my non-medical opinion, I think, is based on your speech and concerning me, responsiveness. You're concerning me. You've got all these weird like things going on. Okay. Oh, that was what we saw. No idea what any of these are meant to be. So this was the stuff they got from the miner. Harry's still working for Camille. Wait, actually, yeah. How do you know? Because I know, just trust me. I just know, believe me. Wait, okay, I've got... Oh, it was that one. Okay, so receipts 2. Jesus, why is it printed? Jesus, I don't know. I don't know why not just screenshot. Couldn't tell you. Why do they know so many details and why do I have screenshots? Because they wanted them. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man. Why is Harry not answering me? I'm losing a business partner. Employees will cause serious legal issues. Fine, not your fault. Nothing bad happens. I can't allow it to continue. From someone I'd consider a friend, this is crazy and quite offensive. I guess she's kind of come out about this Camille person. First of all, chill out. It's insane for you to think that Camille's business partner might have a motive to protect Camille. Maybe a good looker in the mirror might suffice. No, I'm not going to chill out. What you said here is tonight is absolutely absurd. And he wouldn't even say it to me as sticking to texting. A friend, Harry, the first time you've reached out in months. I'll call you after I make myself a drink. It was after this, but it was a while ago. Gotcha. I have perfectly fine vision, and this is really testing it. Like, look at this. Also, this is the same thing we already saw. Oh, Tynan is the minor. Well, I hope that's not his actual name then, Jesus. Accidentally leaking things like that. Gotta be careful. Leads to an insane conspiracy. Actually, by definition, you did provide advice against doing so. You advised me not to take action. No, I did not. When I said, what if I get your parents' advice? You still advise against it. No, that's not true. I advise against that for Twitter, not a police report. I'm like, this is all over the place so far, I gotta say. I'm trying my best here. And it's not in order. The conspiracy theory. Like, could you not have leads to insane conspiracy. Misrepresented. Make insane accusation right now. What you're saying is insane. Created this conspiracy in your head and you won't even discuss it. You don't know anything about Camille and this entire situation. Nor do you know what Chris and I dealt with when it came to it. And then we've got the conspiracy theory. You've missed my entire point. You haven't cited my opinion correctly here once. Leads you to an insane conspiracy. Blah, blah, blah. Is a conspiracy theory, is insane. We've already seen this. Somehow I'm protecting him, that's the conspiracy. Okay, and Maddie and Chris are on it. They know it, yes. And you still can't hate me if we're going to work together on this. LMAO, I don't hate you. Bruh, do you hate me? Well, I wouldn't say that I hate you. I say we had a little tiff, pass behind us, we're homies. Yep, agreed. I saw that, you freak. So Harry unsent a message. Apparently he was asking for nudes. I mean, I don't know. Weird to ask someone for nudes, sure. Like, are you drunk or something? Or I was just curious, you know. No, I'm sober. Middle East stuff, not if you don't want that. Tired. Whatever. Like, this is... Chronologically, it's confusing, for sure. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey Hannah, just a heads up, things are about to get intense. Harry's furious he's not playing games anymore. Expect a cease and desist landing in your inbox any moment now. This isn't a joke or an empty threat. Brace yourself, because look, he's really going through with it. And then this one, hang on, I need to... Because I cannot see this. Please leave me alone. I don't know if you guys find this fun, but it's gone too far. Camille and Harry are planning to dox you. It's serious stuff, and you could really mess things up for you and your family. Please think about beefing up your privacy settings, or like this is. Stay safe and let's figure out a way to deal with this. It looks like someone they don't know. Very strange. Oh, this person isn't underage. Like him asking for nudes, I think, is just he's a bit weird. But that's what she said. It said they're not going to be able to prove that, unfortunately. No point, likewise. Yeah, just leave me alone next time. Lol, what? Didn't realize an active political voice could be so offended by someone criticizing them. Nah, I'm not offended by any means, you just clearly wanted an argument. I'm saying next time if you want to pick an argument, just find someone else and leave me alone next time. We're still not homies like that, TBH, so true, I'll meet you in the middle. Next time you want nudes, just find someone else and leave me alone next time. Yeah, that definitely works for me, lol. I notice you're going after Harry, and please for your safety don't. Need to listen to me very carefully. Harry's on the warpath, he's not messing around, he's threatening to obliterate your reputation if you don't take your TikTok account ASAP. There's no idle threat, he's got the means, the anger to do exactly what he says. Please for your own sake, blah 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 blah. Just getting a lot of like weird warnings and stuff. I mean, Harry Sisson is like a big figure, you know what I mean? Crazy fans seem like, unfortunately, part and parcel. For someone I'd consider a friend, this is crazy and quite offensive. First of all, chill out. If it's insane for you to think that Camille's business partner might have protected... We've already seen this, I think. Then this is really the best we could have done. I can't read, like, this is a cease and desist. This apparently is a fake cease and desist. How are you supposed to tell? Can you see this? What am I supposed to get from this? I can't read that. Why do they screenshots look like a printed newspaper? So apparently the printer was running low. But like, why did they have to use the things that they printed out? Why not screenshot the things and like save them? You know what I mean? Okay, so I can't read this cease and desist like whatsoever. I appreciate that, yeah, but I follow agree. He was asking us to join and debate. I didn't let him up once. I figure it's better to just not block him, so I can't really stop him from watching, but you're 1000% right. Why don't you want to block him? Just to keep the peace, and I don't like blocking people from my public accounts, just personal ones. I mean, I'm saying this is not out of aggression, but like, peace with a predator? So they're talking about this Camille guy, I guess. Not really for him, it's more my peace of mind. Okay, Harry. Why does this part look so strange? I don't know what to think. I don't know, man. I don't know. Let me just, they posted anything else? Clarification regarding Hannah's story. So we're just sharing it again? Oh no, he talked to women online, the horror. What is this? Something about Camille. Do you think that printing them would make them more credible? Well, she wanted to show them on camera. But why use that version and like take pictures of them? Especially when like like, come on, bro. I couldn't even, let's cease and desist. You can't even read it. It's a bit preposterous. I don't know, man. Camille, last name, has made a emergency call from this. Okay. Like, I'm not being funny, like. But these are the receipts. Is this it? Is this it? I don't know, man. I don't know. This is all very silly. I mean, if he's hanging out with a predator, then that's fucked. I don't know if the victim of the supposed predator has said anything to anyone, if they've reported it themselves. There's just little to go on. There's little proof of anything. I don't know, man. This feels like, this is like hit piece territory almost. Like, maybe more will come out, but this whole thing just seems thin. What are we looking at right now? So someone called Harry Sisson has been cancelled by a bunch of people for being a fuckboy and apparently working with a predator, but yeah, geez, I don't know. I don't know. I was going to look at more of the trans genocide stuff, but I might do something else, to be honest, because the thing that I have is like 3 hours long. I'm going to need a lot of time. It's like a debate panel. I only have so long. I need to probably stop in an hour or two. But yeah, there we go. The Harry Sisson thing. I think it is extremely thin. If there is any weight to any of this, then this Sarah Fields person does not put her best foot forward. What she's put out is making me extremely, what's the word? Skeptical. I don't like Harry Sisson. I don't want to sit here and defend someone like Harry Sisson. I think people like him, I'm sure he probably to an extent does the trans ally thing and probably argues for things that are actually making much, much worse for trans people rather than helping us integrate and combating the insane radicalization that we experience, which needs to stop. So I have no reason to like Harry Sisson whatsoever, but this is terrible. I could watch the Mr. Menu thing. That's a good idea, actually. I'll do the trans genocide thing tomorrow, maybe. Like, the last thing I have on that, because I need to wrap that shit up. Oh my god, Sky reviewed Dylan Mulvaney's paper doll. Legend. I'll watch the Mr. Menu thing, why not? Okay, so we've done Harry Sisson. That was complete nothing. I have had to sit here and defend Harry Sisson, someone I have watched debate, and I do not like what he is about and what he does. Absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, I might as well watch the Mr. Menu thing, why not? Okay, so the Harry Sisson thing, we're done with that. Absolute waste of time. Don't know what the fuck the point of that was.